Glow 99.1 FM in Ondo State, Akure. And the program you're tuned to is Political Hangout. Once it's 3 p.m. Once it's 2 p.m. on Thursdays, have the next 1 hour to enjoy the best of politics and governance, reportorials and conversations on Glow 99.1 FM. Here on Political Hangout, as we do it every week, by God's grace, we are here again this week to discuss what's happening in the political space and then what is governance looking like, whether in Ondo State, locally here, or at the federal level. Um, Thank you once more for joining the program this afternoon, and we will be having conversations. The topic this afternoon, what we'll be dwelling on the program this afternoon is the third year assessment scorecard of the incumbent president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's been exactly 3 years now. If you count May 29, 2023, up until now, you've had a stretch of 3 unbroken years of the president. Per sector, how has the president fared? What do we have on the ground? What results can we say with our language? Let's be a bit civilized. Let's not be too inflamed. Let our emotions not overrun our words. So we need to be moderate in, even if we're going to criticize whatever it is you want to say that the government is not doing right. Public speaking has an art and it has a legislation to it because it could be in breach of the laws of the land. So please, let's be mindful that criticism must not go beyond its limits. Also, we're expected to have one of the chieftains of the APC in Ondo State. I'm not sure if he's still an incumbent, he's still currently is a special assistant to the governor Adepoju, or if he has taken his exit by the last reshufflement. I don't know. But when he comes on board, I would be able to know whether to address him as a special assistant to the governor or ex-special assistant to the governor. His name is Prince Dapo Adepoju. We're supposed to have him in the studios. This appointment was well scheduled and he has agreed to it. So I won't be in doubt whether he would be on the program or not. I hope that someone close to him might be listening now or himself might be listening on radio because it's a structured appointment already, which he has made a commitment to feature on because it's only from the APC people, whoever is a loyalist of the APC, that can explain to us the policies of the government, the Tinubu administration. How well has this administration fared? In terms of implementation, it's only the APC people that can give us. And it was intended not to even have an opposing view because I would have thought maybe, okay, let's have another opposition party member take on an APC member. But I think that let's give the floor today to the APC as a party to narrate to us the translation of their blueprint in 2023 into activity right now. It's best to hear from the horse's mouth, and then the public, our callers and our audience at home, can then relate with whatever it is that the party is presenting. At this point, valid? Do we see reality playing out from what these people are saying? The public will be able to, because this is the first episode of Political Hangout that is happening immediately at May 29, 2026, which is the third year. So since we're having the first weekly edition of Political Hangout after the inauguration third year anniversary, it's only good for us to look at where were we, how well have we gone, how far have we gone, and is there a likelihood that Nigerians are interested in having the president come back to continue the good work that he's been doing. And let me also forget, let me recall to remind our listeners at home that we're also live on Facebook. You can join us on using the Glow FM handle at Glow 99.1 FM Akure on Facebook. We're streaming live. You can drop comments as well. You can participate on that platform. And when it's time to open up the phone lines, because like I said, there's not much on my end to present to the public today other than just get public feedback. It's like a survey program today. Let's listen to what the public has to say in terms of sectoral analysis. What have you seen in education? What have you seen in the health sector? the infrastructure, road infrastructure, security. Mention your points and assess the government. Let's say today we are sticking with 1 to 10. Let's say we're sticking with a matrix of 1 to 10, the score points. What are you going to score the president from 1 to 10? So once it's time to start calling in, our audience can start calling in with this number. The number to call is 0805 551 1110. I'll take that again. 0805 551 1110. The alternate number which you can also use is 0706 677 1822. The alternate line, the MTN alternate line is 0706 677 1822. And so the agenda is there out there now on the table. We all know that insecurity seems to be the prime, it seems to be the talking point. But because of the sensitivity of the Ogbomosho kidnap, the terrorist attack that is still ravaging right now in Ogbomosho, Oyo State, we have another follow-up negative scenario that had played out yesterday where the sister, as reported, the sister of the immediate past Minister for Power, Adebayo Adelabo, his sister was also kidnapped with her twin kids on our way to drop them off in school yesterday in Ibadan, around Challenge Access in Ibadan. So all of these are also issues on the front burner as we speak. However, because like we all know, security issues are sensitive, let's be mindful how we present this matter. But let's profile solutions. What do we think government ought to do, particularly on the Ogbomoso rescue mission? What are we proposing as individuals, as members of the public? What do we think government should do? How should government address this? Are there ways? Do you want us to use the traditional approach? You want us to go, inviting foreign input or help? Do you want government to deploy military personnel? What options do we have? And most importantly, what we need to address is getting these babies, minors, and kids back from terrorist enclave where they've been held captive in Ogbomosho, somewhere around Ogbomosho in Oyo State. So much happening around the political scene as we speak. In fact, before I came on air this afternoon, I had a backroom discussion with one of our colleagues here where we were talking about how come we have gotten to that point where INEC seem to be at a loss of what to do. Because the scenario playing out in Rivers, for instance, where you have someone who is currently a PDP member, a minority leader in the House of Representatives, that tells you, holding that position tells you that you are in the opposition. In any state House of Assembly or in any legislative assembly, once they call you a minority leader, it means that you are the leader of the opposition in that house, whether it's in the Ondo State House of Assembly or wherever. Any legislative assembly, once you are called, has now picked up the gubernatorial ticket, the governorship ticket of the APC, which has, definitely been ratified by the party. The party has not declined that. Why would somebody from the opposition now pick up our governorship ticket? So one is wondering, will INEC eventually list Honorable Kingsley Chinda as the governorship candidate of the APC in Rivers State, when the Electoral Act clearly says that it is even a criminal offense, punishable by law? I think it's the options are a 2-year jail term and probably 10 million fine, or so I can recall. But I know it carries jail term plus financial fine. You pay a fine for having membership card of 2 political parties at the same time. So one is wondering, where is INEC stance? Is there probity and ethical practice from what INEC is doing? There's so many issues surrounding how seemingly it's looking like. Is INEC already playing a part in favor of a particular political party? We also have the scenario, the situation where you have the INEC database, the IT back-end infrastructure of the INEC looking like it's been compromised by the aid of Minister Nyesom Wike. And that currently is attracting security forces scrutiny and interrogation. All of these are scary things for Nigerians to observe, because all of these have put together points towards the fact that 2027 looks to be something like one is worried. It's scary. But we'll see how events play out along the line. And like I said earlier, Prince Dapo Adepoju is an APC chieftain here in Ondo State, a special assistant to the governor, and is being expected right now. Is in the studio live with us in the studio to explain and to narrate to Nigerians, particularly within Ondo State and beyond. Everyone listening to us even worldwide now can hear from the horse's mouth, because it's an APC insider who can then explain to us where are we in terms of performance of the incumbent president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Prince Dapo Adepoju, thank you for joining us, and thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for coming on the program this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's clear this. I think I mixed this up initially. By designation, I used to know that you were a special advisor to Governor Ayedatiwa.
I was a former.
Okay, so because I wanted to get that cleared, because we know that.
I served under Governor Akeredolu.
Oh, as well.
Special assistant.
Okay.
Under Governor Lucky Orimisa Ayedatiwa also.
Oh, okay, great. So we have that clarification that you used to be there, but right now not in that position. So can you give us your overview? Let's give, I mean, you can point to whatever sectors you want in terms of, because right now, seated here today, Ondo State citizens want to hear the reasons why the performance of the incumbent president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is sufficient for us to hang on to bring him back in 2027. So let's hear from you. Why do you think we should vote the president? What are the performance indices?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You see, first of all, if we look at the country now, we can see that there are lots of challenges, no doubt. We have always had challenges. But the truth of the matter is that we have a statesman as the president of this Federal Republic. He's not just a public servant. He's not just that politician, but a statesman. I address him as a statesman because he is not ready to play politics with Nigerians. Initially, before he got into power, we all know they're like, this is where they're going to be making their own money. And it has always been there. It's now like a free will thing. These are the cabals that nobody has ever dared to look at their face and say, oh, enough is enough. So Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board and he took that strong decision, not minding his re-election or anything. He felt, because no politician, whenever you come into office, any politician that comes into office is already thinking about second term. So Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took that decision. He removed the fuel subsidy. It was, we are trying to, people were shouting, oh, this petrol is this, is that. But before you know it, we are finding our balance. You can see that states are now paying their salaries as I went due. You can see that across all the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, you can see lots of infrastructure. This is the very first time since the creation of this country that we are now trying in this modern day era that we need to compete with countries across the globe. That's why you can have a 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar coastal road. When you don't have the money to do that, and when you are still a very strong borrower, it's maybe difficult for you to delve into that. States have salaries. You can see around, go to different states. Their debts have been, in fact, debtor states has cleared their debt 100%. In Ondo State, you can see that they are almost 100% in clearing their debts across the states. Go for your good. You see, now when countries like states in the federation are having issue. That's the reason why it's easy for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come out and say that, oh, okay, what do you need in this state? Okay, you need this so bond. Okay, the federal government, we just direct the Minister of Finance, I mean, CBN governor and all that. Okay, from the federation account, can you do this? So instead of a state going abroad, going to Switzerland to get a loan of 30 billion, 20 billion, they can now get it here. And you can see that the price of petrol gradually was crashing. It was crashing gradually. It got to a point because we are now buying fuel like around 600 and something, and it's still coming down until this brouhaha that is happening across the world, this issue of United States of America versus Russia and all that. That is the reason why you can see that the price of fuel now jumped up. It is not because of the policy, but it is a general thing, it's a global thing. Assuming there's nothing of such, if that mini war, let me call it mini war because they are trying to drag it now, we're praying that it's not going to turn to the Third World War. You know, that okay, if the thing goes to rest today, you will see that the price of petrol will go down drastically. So this is the height of it. This is the height of it. This is just the level at which it can go. And now you can see that in two days ago, Dangote Petroleum Company and all that, and NNPC, they said they are going to be reducing price of fuel, despite the fact that the wahala is still up there. So if, despite the fact that there's still that issue, that mini war, you know, across the world, like between America and the major, you know, these are people that determine the price of petrol across the world. Despite that, there's still an avenue for the price to be reduced. So it shows that this is what previous administrations should have dealt with. This is what they should have taken. That's the bold step they should have taken. But because of politics, because of, oh, what will people say? Oh, I cannot stand criticism. I cannot do that.
Okay,
but
Prince.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu came, he just took the bold step. That is it.
Okay, Prince Adepoju, if I hear you correctly,
people will take it as fact. The president said subsidy is gone. That statement, I think what the president is trying to do is to him formally inform Nigerians. As a president, he could have returned back to his office and make it a policy. The policy will speak in the sense that people will just get to see that maybe one morning they just woke up and they saw that the price of petrol had jumped up. But because of the fact that he wants to be a president for all Nigerians, he said it out so that nobody will be saying who said this, who made this law. He made it public himself. But because of the fact that we are in Nigeria, where everybody wants to make quick money, people want to, you know, capitalize on issues and make a whole lot of money. When he said fuel subsidy is gone, before you know it, petrol stations across the country begin to shut down. A petrol station where you bought fuel like 30 minutes ago, you got there and they're telling you, oh, no more fuel, because they want to know the new pricing. You know, that if the subsidy is actually gone, how much will a liter of petrol cost? So at the end of the day, we had this 1 or 2, maybe like 24 hours, you know, to get on it that, okay, this is the pricing, this is how much it's going to be. And before you know it, those new petrol stations were selling. Nigerians couldn't ask questions. It is the right of the people to ask questions. But let me say, maybe due to the fact that it could pose a security threat, or it could, but because of the fact that people has heard from the president himself that subsidy is gone, and he said it, he made it clear that from that budget, which everybody knew that for that 2023, we had from May 29 to June the 30th, before any form of new pricing of petroleum could come on board. But Nigerians, because of our impatience, because of the fact that we don't have that ability to ask genuine questions without being mischievous, we went ahead. And petrol stations too were selling at a high price. And there's nothing that could be done. But if you go to the FCTs at that time, DPR and all that, they are trying to, like, you know, enforce.
Good enough,
it
Prince.
doesn't work.
I'm glad that you understand the point I made,
Yeah.
that Nigerians should have enjoyed that provision of fuel subsidy even up until June 30th.
June 30th, yes.
Now, unfortunately, we had a president who came in and allowed the vagrancies of the Nigerian market, the way Nigerians operate, to override and overwhelm his own will. Because now the public have taken advantage. The petrol dealers, whoever is behind that price jacking 48 hours, for 24 hours, those people have taken governance for a ride. They have taken state policy for a ride because, I don't understand. And no one had the capacity other than incumbent president to call them to order. I don't think anyone else could have done that. So from the get-go, citizens are complaining that this is a president who didn't have full grasp of taming the evil that we have been enduring in Nigeria. Because we all know Nigerians themselves are a problem. You need a president who will come in and then instill order and ethics within our space. So that's one point. Second is, even if we say fuel subsidy is gone, let's also recall that immediately fuel subsidy was removed, the president and the administration, the APC administration, that they were going to cushion that effect. That somehow you don't even need to buy fuel at this high cost, 1,000 plus or whatever it is. Why don't you go for CNG? And at that point, the provision for CNG by blueprint, by table talk, by paperwork, was like everybody, all of us will be riding CNG cars in a few months down the line. But it was just, for what we all see today, propaganda. I'm not sure if you have any private vehicle right now in Ondo State, within Akure, you don't have up to 5 or 10 running on CNG. Because where do you find filling stations to power your CNG car? Why didn't that promise taken through? Why wasn't it fulfilled? CNG was never activated. Rollout of CNG was never implemented, which was supposed to be a cushion for...
It is... No. I don't want to agree with what you said, that it wasn't in place. There's something they call the Nigerian mentality. There's something that you have got used to. And a lot of people are always being optimistic, or maybe they are afraid of taking any risk. What you have never been used to in so many years. You had a car, or maybe you have a car. You have been using your car for like 2-3 years. And suddenly somebody just came and tell you that you have to convert this car to CNG and all that. You know our people, you know the mindset of our people. If you go to major cities, you see that they agree to that fact. Maybe some of them, because of their exposure, they are being used to, CNG cars. But somebody that had just one car, you are now telling the person that, okay, you can convert so that you will not be using petrol. You go to CNG. He will not listen to you. He or she is used already to PMS. So that's the reason why in this part of the country, it's not selling fast, because nobody wants to take that risk. In fact, there was a time that some people had, some rumor mongers came on board and said that immediately you are using the CNG, that
the combustion rate is high. Your car could
the car could catch fire,
explode,
and all that, it could explode. Meanwhile, they have been using this thing
in civilized countries abroad.
Civilized countries, and we don't have it. Such never happened. They didn't. If you go to Abuja, you see CNG cars. They are working perfectly. But somebody just said, "Hello, if you change your car from petrol to this, then let me tell you something. There is this issue of local patronage. You have your normal local mechanics. That's where they feed their family and all that. You, as an ordinary Nigerian, you pick your phone, you call that your mechanic that doesn't have any information as regards CNG or maybe car conversion. You are now telling that person that you are thinking of converting your car to CNG. How is it going to fit? He knew he's going to lose you as a customer. He would advise you against it. And this is a trusted person you have trusted for long. You have been patronizing. Like, mọ́tò yìí lè lọ gba náà tẹ́ bá ti lọ gbọ́n nǹkan tán ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀. So immediately you hear that statement that it could catch fire. You don't want to lose your car. And you are not going to go further. You are not going to listen to any other person. If anybody is now coming to tell you that, you can see what is happening. Like when somebody will just sit down somewhere and they say that, they want to do something by 9 p.m. People should leave the street. And people, you tell them that, okay, who is making this statement? You cannot verify, and they will just take it like that. Before you know it, the whole of the city, virtually, than listening to maybe a state-owned radio station. Some of them may believe that what they are saying in that government facility is being tailored. That, oh, whatever they are saying, no, they are not saying the truth, they are biased, they are this and that. So they will choose to listen to you. Assuming that a Glow FM and other notable stations are always orientating our people, it is not possible for the government to enforce their policy on you. You are a private entity. So
That's
now,
government
no,
pay
let
the
me tell you,
private radio
the
stations.
government, let me
Yes,
tell you,
the government do that.
no, let me tell you, this is the mindset of the government. The government believes in one thing, that, okay, assuming there's nothing like a Radio Nigeria or an NTA here in Ondo State, the
Yes.
government will like, okay, what can we do? Let us go in partnership with Glow FM. But now that they know they have all their facilities across the country, it is not according to, by their own rules, they believe they have such facility. It is the right of Nigerians to tune into that. So they may not come and form, but assuming that as normal Nigerians, the owners of these private organizations too are Nigerians, and they want the best for Nigeria. So they could just key into it. It doesn't take anything from them to be orientating the people that these are the benefits
we'll drop that
of
point
this.
for now. Because if
So
we dwell on that, as we
we
speak,
can go on and
the inefficiencies of government is what makes private radio stations to be running at a loss. Because you know how much you spend on diesel. Your NEPA bill a month is in millions, and then you want to do free service for government because you are a good Samaritan. Whereas government is throwing its own excess fund around. They don't want to pay for public orientation.
you're now talking. I'm just.
They don't want to pay for.
I don't want to.
I'm saying that government ought to push out funding into all of the media outfits, regardless of whether it's a private-owned radio outfit or TV station. Media is media.
But the truth of
push out information to the
truth of the matter is this.
Yes.
Nigeria as a country came into existence in 1960.
Yes.
I think this is the very first time, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is just 3 years
in office. Yes.
If you take this 3 years out of that, 1960.
The whole of the 1960, about 60 something years.
You see that about now
63 years has gone before
now
the incumbent president.
There's this orientation that has been living with us for these whole years. In fact, let's leave the years before 1960.
Yes.
Now let's start
1999.
From, let's say 1999.
Yes, when we took the Fourth Republic.
The Fourth Republic. To this time, some things that you get used to. Nigerians, we are sophisticated people. We are people that has our own mind. That's the reason why it is very difficult to manipulate a Nigerian physically. Are you getting what I'm saying? It is the only thing that they can be afraid of is anything that could endanger their lives.
Put their lives at risk.
That is the only thing. If anything aside that, and that's the reason why you can see that it is going
fuel subsidy. The 400 naira we're no longer paying.
Yes.
So Nigerians are now paying outrightly that 1,000 that they're supposed to pay.
Exactly.
Let's assume. Now, that 400 naira excess. Now, from what we understand, all of that money is what is being pushed into the hands of the governors, I guess. That's what the federal government seems to be saying. Those 400 naira extra goes in. That's why the governors are, Ondo State
right running the country.
Yes.
From the federal to the local government.
Okay, now, why wasn't it possible for the federal government to keep that force? Because that happened severally in past government too. As terrible as people paint Abacha, when Nigeria began to earn excess money from crude oil, that was what led to the birth of PTA, the Core Petroleum Trust Fund. All of the excess funding that was, revenue, income that Nigeria was getting from crude oil sales, that was what Abacha set aside into PTF. And you can see PTF projects around Nigeria, even up until date. That was when NAFDAC resurrected, came to life. You found several hospitals, all of the federal medical centers today. So why wasn't it possible for the incumbent president to have said, look, those marginal excess funds that we were paying to pay subsidy, let's set this aside in a savings account. in a savings account, and then between the governors and the federal government will sit at the table. You need what in your state? You need federal roads, you need federal medical center, you need a new federal university. This is going to, I mean, that will have been more accountable other than putting that excess funds into the, because
No,
we all know.
it is
Are
not
you aware
correct.
that the president is currently telling Nigerians that go and ask your governors that are not doing anything with the
Because
money?
they are the chief security officers of their state. But the truth of the matter is this, let me tell you, what you just put up here is what is happening now.
But the president is saying the governors are not spending the money judiciously. He has said he's been vocal.
It is, he has the right as the number one leader,
Yes.
as the father of the nation. The yam, he has both the yam
And the knife.
and the knife. So now, when you are cutting a yam and you give to someone, you have the right to ask questions that, oh, how are you managing successive government to make sure that they clear that backlog of salaries? Now, when you say that you have cleared backlog of salaries, where did they get the money from? Number one, government is what? Is progressive. It's continuum. But you have to go back to offset that bill. So meanwhile, when the money is coming, nobody is looking at it. What is applicable here may not be applicable. But
in Ekiti or in
now, maybe somebody just came on board. If a governor just comes on board and says, now, the person can say, oh, we voted you in. Now
you are responsible for
so
your
you should be responsible to shoulder anything that your president. So if they are being paid, if the backlog has been cleared, and if you see now that maybe they have some time to time payment of gratuities and all those financial, now that is the only thing that will make the state robust financially. What you now need to do is invest more in infrastructural development. Make sure that you attract investors to your state. Now, when you now encourage the youth to do what? That mechanized farming. That youths are encouraged. When you see that the youths are off the street, they are engaged in one or two things that they can do to make a living, then the state will be peaceful. Ditto, it will transfer to what? To the federal. But the operational unit of the federal government is the state. That is where you will see a lot of things. You can see that we have challenges. You can have issues of maybe farmers and others and all that. Security wise, okay, what are they doing? The federal government will be doing their own. The state will be doing what? Will be doing their own too.
Just so all those
things.
Give me a second so that we can get our callers to also join the conversation, because you are speaking to the public. They are listening to you right now. They may also have perspective and opinion they want to share. So let's give them the opportunity to call in while we continue our conversation in-house. Callers can right now start calling in. We'll attend to your calls. You can speak with Prince Dapo Adepoju directly if you have questions to clarify. Call in to hear your opinion. The number to call again is 0805 551 1110. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for calling. Your name and where you're calling from.
Thank you. Joshua is my name. I'm calling from Ondo State. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I want to comment about this insecurity in Nigeria. And I want to start from the time of President Jonathan.
Okay.
We have only 3 states where insecurity persists. That is Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno State. Now it has escalated to all the country. Every state now, including our southwest here now. And the president said that he has a yam and a knife. And I want to know what he has done with that knife and the yam. We're in a country, at times you hear when people say Nigeria president is the most powerful president in the world. Simply because not that they can tackle insecurity, stop the shed of innocent blood, they are citizens of their country.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
I'm coming, sir. All because they can do and undo. They can breach the law, they can do anything, and no National Assembly, no judiciary will question the executive. All in fault. Now, when you said you have the yam and the knife, what have you done with the yam and the knife? You understand now?
Okay.
Killing everywhere. You are the commander-in-chief of armed forces. That's not a shame thing.
Mr. Joshua, your point has been noted. Your point has been noted. Prince Adepoju.
On the issue of insecurity, everywhere in the world, all citizens are expected, to ensure that there is safety around them.
I'm sorry,
it is the duty of the government to protect its citizens. But the truth of the matter is that, are we doing the needful?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Thank you for joining Political Hangout. Your name is John. Calling from where?
Akure.
John from Akure. Please go ahead. We can hear you now.
For your day today.
Okay. Please be brief because the queue on this line. Yes.
When Good Luck wants to remove this subsidy, why did this present president now? Why did he kick against it? Why is it that he fought that Good Luck and now still do the same thing you are fighting against?
Okay, thank you. He will answer that. He will answer that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll answer that.
He will respond to that question. We'll just take this call and then we'll go back to our conversation in house. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
John calling from Akure.
John calling from Akure. Okay, please go ahead.
Why is it that Mr. President didn't go to a commission project in Ondo State?
Why didn't Mr. President do what?
To commission some projects given to the governors. For example, here in Ondo State, you only came here one time when Akiti died. You could have been going to many states to go and commission instead of telling us that we should ask our governors. Is the person supposed to go to the states and verify some projects?
Okay, thank you. That is also noted. For now, we would also shut down the calls because the queue is long on the calls. For now, we'll just let Prince Adepoju just address those questions that have been raised. Someone called and asked, why was it that this incumbent president countered, didn't allow former President Goodluck Jonathan to implement fuel subsidy?
The caller should understand that, yes, no doubt, because I'm not going to lie, there is something they call politics.
Okay.
So maybe let me say it's politics and some stuff that happened then. But that was the reality. That is the reason why I said there's a difference between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu
and previous presidents.
President.
You are saying that they didn't have the boldness, the courage. They don't have
the major thing is that even during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari,
yes,
he's supposed to take that step in the administration because it's like, oh, what these people are saying is true. Maybe we have to, are you now trying to tell us that we should go and apologize to them? Oh, okay, even if you cannot apologize, let us take this part of honor, take this courage, it will be on top of it. And we know that when political times are getting close, you tend to hear a lot of things. This is the very first time that we are not having this pressure from ASU too. But any time that Nigeria is going to an election, even if it is state election, it is then that you will see unions and all these things protesting that they believe that this is the time they can hold you responsible so that they get what they want to get from you. So now, if you see some agitations, some too may be politically motivated. Because if you listen to the past governor of Ekiti State, he said, come, look at what governors in different states are doing. Like the rumor that happened here in Akure yesterday. You can see Amotekun operatives all around. They mount in front of Iwashaye Girls Grammar School. The government was responding and communicating to the people that information is false and that the state is safe. Now, people expected the governor, Seyi Makinde, that students were being kidnapped in your state. And as a governor, you are entitled to security votes, which is in billions every month. They expect you to take that bold step almost immediately before you can call for reinforcement. But you are not doing anything. You just felt you can put all the thing in the neck of the federal government. It's not done. If you look at what happened during the EndSARS in Lagos, you can see the effort of the Lagos state government.
President Dapo Adepoju, like you said, politics gets in the way in all of these issues.
In all of these things, the politics will play some part.
If we bring in the Seyi Makinde scenario into this conversation, it also happened in Ekiti. What has the Ekiti governor done? He's an APC governor.
I'm not talking about party. No, I'm not talking about party here. No. What I'm saying is that you as a leader, you must show concern immediately, and information are coming out that, oh, people are talking, what is happening? We all know that a president of this country
Let's take
has
this
a
last
lot.
call, Prince Adepoju. Let's take this last
But you
call.
can see what the president did. He immediately deployed delegation
Hello.
for the federal government to your state.
Hello,
And
good afternoon.
within 2 days, you have results.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Shagari, Kunle from Shagari.
Kunle from Shagari. Please make it brief so that we can cover on time.
The speaker, maybe he's even aware of the cause of the insecurity in the country today.
For joining us and for enlightening us about the performance. Thank you so much for coming. And for our listeners out there, again, we thank you for always joining us on the program. We're sorry that we couldn't have enough of open time to have conversation with the audience.